Welcome back to the Tavern, fellow adventurers. I'm Paul Pape, your barkeep and game master. And tonight we have a traveler who's journeyed far through the digital realms. Our guest this evening is Al Kushner, a scribe who's mastered the ancient art and of presence in the modern marketplace. While many adventurers struggle to make their voices heard above the noise of a crowded town square, Al discovered something powerful: the ability to amplify your message using the new magic of artificial intelligence. He's penned a tome called The AI LinkedIn Advantage, sharing the secrets he's learned about building reputation and influence in the digital age. Tonight, he's here to share his quest, the challenges he's faced, the tools he's discovered, and what it takes to stand out when everyone's shouting for attention. So pull up a chair, grab your favorite drink, and let's hear Al's tale of navigating the modern merchant's marketplace and finding his voice in the crowd. Al, welcome to the tavern.
Thank you, Paul. Pleasure to be here.
Excellent. So, you wrote the AI LinkedIn Advantage and clearly discovered something that changed how you approach business. What was the turning point, the moment you realized you needed to completely rethink how you showed up in the marketplace?
Well, with AI technology, I was able to use it in a way to optimize my profile so it stands out above the competition. Because in LinkedIn, with over 1 billion users, you are in a competitive situation. So you need to, if you want to become a thought leader on the platform, you need to step up your game, and AI technology does help you with that.
Now, do you feel that, because I know the platform itself is constantly changing, do you feel that it is that the AI is keeping up with that and with all the new twists and turns? I know like now video is a huge aspect of LinkedIn. It gets you better views, quicker views. Do you find that the AI is keeping up with that, or is it something that you're having to update on your end as well within the book?
Well, the AI helps you with ideas for videos like scripts, and also can analyze whether or not your video is effective compared to others. So I use it pretty extensively, and it really helps out to, because the algorithm of LinkedIn does prefer videos, and it's a great opportunity to post them if you have something that is, educational by nature.
Absolutely. So, a lot of creative entrepreneurs, artists, designers, makers, they feel like LinkedIn is the corporate business platform that doesn't speak their language. They're great at their craft, but terrible about talking about themselves. What would you say to a designer who thinks my work should speak for itself?
Very simple, because you're in a competitive situation. So if you're not doing it, your competition is, and they'd love for you to think that way.
That's absolutely true. So, if you were to give a little bit of advice on somebody who's new to LinkedIn, who then feels like because they don't have 1 million followers and 1 million likes and they're new to putting their voice out there, what was something that you would expect them to do right off the bat?
Well, optimize your profile. Before you do any outreach, you need to really set it straight that you have to have certain things in your profile that's going to help you stand out, because you are in a competitive situation. And, whoever you are, if you're a designer, you're looking for potential work, that the first thing is going to look at is who use your services. And if you don't have any recommendations, well, guess what? You're already at a loss right there. So right off the bat, I'd start working on optimizing the profile.
Excellent, excellent. That's really good, solid advice. I know myself. I started out. I've had a LinkedIn platform or like profile for years, and never really started using it until about 2 years ago. Like I've had it for over 10 years, and I always thought to myself, if as a creative, my opportunities were found on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, but never really on LinkedIn. And it wasn't until I started moving more into the corporate field where I was working more with corporations as opposed to individuals that I realized that that's where they meet. And, they say doctors hang out with doctors, so you got to go to where the people are that you want to work with. And LinkedIn is definitely that place.
Yeah.
All right. So you talk about AI as a tool for amplification. For a creative professional who's already overwhelmed just trying to get their clients and to do the work, what's the smallest first step that they could take with AI that would actually move the needle without adding another 10 hours to their work week?
Well, you want to create content, because content is king on the platform. So create ideas for articles. If you're working with potential clients, create an article about their pain points that they're experiencing. Something that could help alleviate their concerns. They deal with their they're people who they're working for, they know what they're experiencing, so I'm sure others are doing the same. So share that knowledge, and create a newsletter, for example, and send it out each week so you can establish yourself as a thought leader. That's just one step in the right direction.
Now, how long do you think a person needs to be using it consistently before they will start seeing results?
Well, I guess the more you post, the more traction you'll get. So that's really how it works.
Okay. I mean, I'm honestly, I hear the opposite. I hear you post more, you fall further down in the algorithms, the magical algorithm that's out there who controls everybody and who can see what. So do you feel that it's post more often to your authority that will actually help you move further in the presence of other people, or do you find that it bottlenecks you as to who you can outreach to?
Ideally, you want to post, I would say, 3 times a week. Sweet spots are usually Tuesdays through Thursdays when it's most active at that time. And try to post things of value, whether it's a video or create a carousel, which is real hot nowadays. And of course, I do other things like newsletters that also enhance your position as a thought leader. To create that is something that helps you set yourself apart from the competition.
Oh, that's great advice. So, how much of personal life should be shown visibly within LinkedIn? Because I know a lot of creatives who are out there, they wear their emotions on their sleeves. They are who their work is. And so they want to put out there. I mean, obviously, we don't want to put baby pictures out there or for kids or anything like that, but like how much personal information should a person expect to put out on LinkedIn, or should we just keep it professional?
From my standpoint, I keep it as professional as possible. You can maybe showcase maybe a highlight, perhaps an award you received or some accolation or maybe volunteer work you've done, but that's the extent of it. I mean, that's really what I find. But then, when I looked at people's profiles and such, I see a lot of self-serving posts, and that's one thing that people want to deal with, and it turns people off. So you got to
Oh,
give people value whoever you're connecting with.
okay. Now I know I've gotten a lot of feedback on some of mine. Like I'll say, "Hey, I just finished this really cool thing for the movie industry, and I would like to show it off." And I've been told that approaching it from a statement point of view, or a look what I did from a personal point of view, has less resonance than someone who is saying, "Hey, have you ever found yourself in this situation where you're pulling the audience member in and asking them questions about themselves so they have a better way of relating?" Do you find that one works better than the other?
Yeah, particularly when it comes to polls, I find that to be very helpful because a lot of people will share their insight on the challenges that they face, and you can reach out to them who responded to a poll in a way that's constructive and that will help them. And that's really what you want to do. You want to provide much value to whoever you're connecting with.
Now, responses. Now, I know you said that one. So that's another huge one is when I typically within social media, which is obviously what LinkedIn is part of, there's this thing where we post and we hope that it gets a ton of likes and approvals and it has a large outreach. But if people comment on it, I recognize that a lot of people won't reply to the replies. Do you find that there's better traction when you reply to somebody? Is there a time limit on it, or is it best to just let the comments just build on their own?
Better to reply and preferably immediately because that shows you that you are different from the others, and people appreciate that. They appreciate the value they put into their commentary, and that's really essential. Cool.
So in your journey building your presence online, was there a moment where you had to overcome your own resistance, maybe feeling like you were bragging or being a little too salesy? And then if so, how did you shift from seeing self-promotion as uncomfortable to seeing it as an actual service?
Well, I've used AI technology actually to help analyze it. And I take some of the best minds in the industry because I created AI agents to actually be my consultants. And I use them on tap. And I find that invaluable whenever I'm thinking about what I should do next on LinkedIn. And that's something that a lot of people, don't take advantage of. And that's really a great technology.
Can you delve a little bit deeper into that? Like, how are you actually getting their voice or their information to help you using the AI?
Well, I use uh, Gemini Gems, which is a popular tool by Google.
Hmm.
And what you can do is you can take someone who is, let's say, an influencer. It could be, I don't know, Tony Robbins, for example, or someone in the media that you look for advice. And you can take a lot of their information in books and actually upload it to the gem itself. And they'll actually create an AI bot on their particular personality. And it'll only draw information from that particular source, not outside of that. So you get actually all the information that you have available. Just imagine having someone who is a well-renowned consultant. Who do you look for advice, for example, as an influencer?
I mean, for, I'm probably the wrong person to ask this one, but let's say I want to talk about Adam Savage as a person that I would honor because he's a very smart creative, worked in a lot of industries. So I would say I'd be interested. He's got about 4 or 5 books out there, so I could easily download those, upload them into one of these gems, is what you're saying,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
example. If he had videos, for example, on YouTube, you can actually do the same thing and get those videos into the gem itself. And then you can create an Adam Savage on tap, 24/7, working for you absolutely free of charge. Just think about
excellent.
it. And you can ask Adam any question you want about your business, okay? And he'll give it to you the way Adam would say it. Think about the potential that you have over there. You have a consultant, and not just one, but you can have several different consultants on different areas of aspects to use for growing your business. It's incredible.
That's very interesting. So as a creative, I'm going to say, we're nervous about the AI thing is stealing our jobs, which I don't believe it's going to do. But when you're uploading, say, Adam's stuff to this AI, I mean, are you basically stealing stuff away from, let's say, Adam Savage in that regard? Because I'm uploading it to this AI, which obviously, I mean, you're saying that you can only speak to that when it'll only speak to the information that's uploaded, but it's obviously got to go up to the cloud and it's living there now. So when I'm uploading all this information, is it scraping away part of Adam Savage and taking something from him, or is it just something that's useful to you as the individual who's using it?
Well, I mean, if you obtain the books, purchase them and such,
Mhm.
they're yours to use as you see fit. And if the AI technology can learn from that in a way that, I mean, he may have thousands of pages of books, and if you want to get an answer immediately, you got to go through those books one on one. But if AI can help you get straight to the answer, why not? It's available for
Right.
you. And if anything, it just shares a person's knowledge that he is helpful, and if it helps you in your business, that's the whole idea. What he's trying to come across is to help you grow your business. So it's just
Yeah.
another useful tool.
I think that's pretty good advice, and I think it's a nice take on the AI aspect of it. Um, One of the things that I actually offer is with through the gamified business culture is something called a digital familiar, or basically a personal clone, which uses a lot of the same information that you're saying with uploading someone else to be able to talk to you. But I use it as actually uploading myself so that I can then have that person as a specialty aspect of my work. And so I can say, hey, I'm interested in writing some of this book. Here's all of my books that I've uploaded on this. If I was to continue something like this podcast, how would I approach writing these questions or whatnot? And I find that to be very useful. For a person who doesn't have a collection like that to pull from, books that they've written or whatnot, how would that be something that you would say would be beneficial for them? Because a lot of the creatives I have, they would love to be able to talk to themselves because they think they're the best person out there to be able to answer their questions. So would you say that that would be a better way of approaching this, or would you still stick with using AI experts like Adam Savage or Tony Robbins?
Well, the fact is that the AI experts are going to be way superior to what you can come up with on your own. I mean, these are people who've been there and done that, okay? And you don't have that situation. So you need to have these individuals to turn to. Just like if you hired a business consultant, okay, who's working, they could be living, breathing person, and they're giving you the advice. You'd hire them to improve your business. It's the same type of way of doing it where you have access to people who can give you what you're looking for and not just rely on one. You can have a whole team of consultants available on tap at your disposal, working 24/7. I mean, you can't get better than that. If you try it and once you go that route, you won't go anywhere else. I mean, that's simply put. And you
Gotcha.
will see the difference in the results you'll get.
Interesting. I mean, that's just really an interesting approach to being able to apply it to your business, because I know a lot of people in my situation, we're like not 100% sure what's the best approach to this. But if I uploaded a series of books on the best way to market or through a specific artist or author, then I'd be able to actually get some fairly practical advice. I think that's pretty smart. So slick.
Yeah, it's incredible.
All right, so you've helped people build what you call personal brands, but I'm curious, for creative entrepreneurs who want to build a sustainable business, not just a following, what's the difference between visibility and actually making money? So, like, how do you bridge that gap?
Well, you're going to establish yourself as a thought leader. That really helps, makes a difference. Whether you start your own podcast or write a book, this is what's going to set you apart from the competition. So you need to go that route. You need to create content, create value to whoever you're connecting with, and you'll find that they'll be mm, receptive and trusting what you advise. So that's really what direction I would take.
Okay. So you say thought leader, and I know that that's a buzzword that gets thrown around a lot on LinkedIn, especially. So can you define your definition of thought leader? Like, in your opinion, what is a thought leader?
Someone who is an industry expert, let's say someone who's wrote a book and someone who has had podcasts or interviews, who's been on the media. That's usually someone that most people will usually use as an indicator compared to other people who haven't gone that route, who don't have a book, who don't have anything. Thought leaders are people that an association would pay money to speak at an event. And why would they do that? Because they have established a certain reputation, in the industry, whether they've written books or authors, they've had commanded speaking opportunities. These are examples of people who, others want to listen to. They are, like, why would you listen to Adam? Because he's got six books, he's got, podcast, or he's been on interviews. What makes him different from others? That's
That's
pretty
fair.
simple.
So, as somebody who's starting out who may not have all of that built up, is that something that they should concentrate on, or should they just stick with their niche or the thing that makes them that they're passionate about, that they're really working towards, stick with that until they're long enough? Like, where do you draw that line of, well, now I'm the leader on this specific subject? Like,
Well,
is
in a
that something that,
competitive situation, you have to set yourself apart from the competition. You have to make a decision. Okay, decision is whether I'm going to use AI technology to help me advance my career, or I'm just going to be set in my ways. And that's what happens is that when they set in their ways, the competition will take over the business, and they're wondering why they're losing jobs and opportunities because they didn't do anything. And that's
yeah.
really what it is. So you get started now.
So you have to, so basically using AI is like, it's just a new tool that we're using, but it's a tool that can give you a competitive edge with someone else. Now, if you were like you're using AI specifically, your book is about using AI for LinkedIn, but obviously you're using AI to help you with other aspects of your business. Is AI something that could help you further establish yourself as a thought leader, in your opinion?
Of course. It just gives you all the tools that you need available, and that's what you need. It's just imagine if you have a team of consultants that are going to help you to become a thought leader at your disposal. If
Yeah.
Adam is available for you, when you got a thought, I don't know, midnight or something, you couldn't sleep, you turn to Adam and Adam, what do you think I should do tomorrow? What should I post? And he'll tell you. Sometimes it could be brutally honest. I mean, it's how the AI is set up that way. And but the fact is that you have these tools available, these resources that didn't exist years ago. Okay, now all of a sudden you have it. It's now is the best time to get involved in a business where you can grow exponentially with these tools that help you grow at minimal cost. So it's really an incredible time to be in.
I absolutely agree. As a creative, when I was starting my first business as Paul Pape Designs, I used the internet because I live, like I said, I was telling you earlier, I live in Nebraska and I can count on my hands how many things I've actually sold in Nebraska in the 20 years I've been doing this business. If it wasn't for the internet and being able to have a global reach, then I don't think I would have been as successful as I have been. And then now with the advent of AI, I think that it's giving us that extra step. It's the web next step. It's the next big innovation. And I know that when the internet came out, we had a lot of the fear as well. Oh, the internet's going to corrupt us all. And then now it's AI is going to take over everything. It's going to do everything for us. But I find myself, I use it daily and I find it's a very useful tool, but I don't think it's something that can do all the work for you. And from what I'm understanding with what you're saying here is that a lot of what we should use it for is a back and forth, a dialogue, and then you yourself are the one who are creating the information. Is that correct? Or do you actually have it take over and kind of make the work for you?
Well, it will give you ideas that you may not even think about itself, and that's something that there's only so much things you'll look at, and it'll seem from different perspectives, from different angles, from different professionals. I mean, you'll have that information that you wouldn't even know about without accessing the resources that are available. So, I mean, if Adam is available for you 24/7 and you have a question, do you think you can have his knowledge to do and what he does? Of course not. But at least you have a resource you can turn to, and that's incredible leverage in any competitive situation. Just imagine that. If you had to pay somebody that kind of money outside of it, how much would it cost you? A pretty penny, I'm sure.
Pretty penny, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to ask you a bonus question as we wrap this up here. So if you could go back and talk to yourself when you first started trying to get the visibility for your work, knowing what you know now, what's the one piece of advice that you would give yourself that would have saved you the most pain?
I'd say wait until the AI technology is where it is now. I mean, this is something that, because the things that I've gone through, I mean, the heartache and pain is just insurmountable. And compared to nowadays, it's just crazy how so much available it is and how affordable it is. It's just, that's how it is with any type of technology. You have to really embrace it and don't be afraid of it.
That's great. It's great advice, especially with the AI, is to embrace it, don't be afraid of it, and recognize it for what it is. It's not the answer, but it's part of the solution. So I think that that's a really important part of it is it's not going to do the work for you, but it can definitely move the needle pretty far to help you get further in it. I assume you would agree with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Al, for joining us here in the tavern today. Your advice is very useful. Is there any place that our audience can find you, where we can learn more about you? Anything that you want to hand out to them, or any advice that you would like to leave them with?
Yeah, well, I have a worksheet to optimize your profile. You can find it on my website, linkvantage.com/audit, and you can access this optimization profile for your LinkedIn. My book, of course, is available Amazon and Spotify. You can listen to it and follow me on LinkedIn. I'm available and you can reach out. I have newsletters you can connect with, and also I have a new podcast called the AI Authority Edge, which drops 4 times a week, and you can check it out on Spotify and Apple.
Excellent. And we'll leave links for that all in the episode description. So thank you so much, Al, for joining us in Tavern today. We do truly appreciate it, and I wish you all the best on your future adventures.
Thank you, Paul. Have a great one.
All right, you as well.